My name is Hennessy Zimmerman, and today on the ROI Blueprint, we're meeting with Jamie Hourahan. He is the CEO of Mayan Key here in the Mayan Riviera.
How's it going?
Tell me a little bit more about Mayan Key and how you ended up in the Mayan Riviera.
Yes. So we had a management firm in Austin, Texas. I had about 162 million in assets under management, and we were acquired by a private equity firm and decided to take that capital and redeploy it down in Mexico. Well, when we got here, I was shopping for management firms and was just kind of secretly shopping, staying in different Airbnbs, and it just seemed pretty bad. It was very bad, and I was immediately torn that, oh my God, I'm going to have to manage my own properties here because I can't trust the people that are managing here.
Right.
And as I've been here growing my own portfolio, it became more and more obvious that there are no real professionals in the market doing things the way that I would want my vacation rentals being managed. So that was the birthplace of Mayan Key.
So what are the biggest challenges that you face with your clients managing their properties here in Tulum?
Two big challenges that we come across is one, having great people on staff. That's taken us quite a bit of time to build a really strong team. What we know about property management as a whole is if you don't have a strong team on the ground and you're trusting vendors to do work, it will fall apart very quickly. If you've got very competent people on the ground, that sets us apart from a lot of other people because we've hand-selected very sharp individuals who are industry experts. We've got one person who has been on the mega yachts, billionaire yachts. So the standard of cleaning is very high compared to someone who might have pulled them out of a baseline hospitality expert.
Right.
So we have very high-end folks that come in and are able to support that growth of our business being higher caliber, better properties, better management. Some of the other challenges we run into is, we can't set the market. We can only go after what the market is. We use data-driven decisions and comb the heck out of the data to understand where the pricing should be so that you can get that sweet spot between occupancy and revenue, right? Because if you put your house up for $5 a night, 100% occupancy, sounds great, have 100% occupancy, but you're not making any money, right? So we have to have very carefully curated data to make those decisions. Otherwise, it throws everything off. So some of the major challenges is our developers in general build stuff, and they've expected, based when they started building to now, to have a certain ROI. Well, you can't really fix an ROI until you have your entire team embedded in the project, which is your developer has to be done, clean, and out. Then you have to have a competent management firm come in and understand the market. And once they understand the market, they also have to keep the property maintained, great communication, very high standards with the guest relations, because people get very angry with bugs and ACs going out and all the things that come with having a home in a jungle. If you don't have a competent team in place, that's problematic. So our only main issues in the beginning was really people, and now it's the competition that's kind of closing in as a whole in Tulum, based on the inability to control pricing. So Mari has answered that very, very smoothly, and we have full control over all of the pricing for the entire development. So no competitors are in there driving prices down. We fixed it. So based on the typology, we know what we can expect. We can project revenue much better. We can do a lot of things that most developers can't.
And so what strategies are you implementing to keep high income for your clients?
Maintaining high income is a three-part component. First thing you have to do to maintain higher income is just understanding the market. That's key. So data providers, they're everywhere. There's no secret. Key Data Solutions, Wheelhouse, AirDNA, Price Labs. These are all data aggregators that can help people understand the market. So if you don't have it right, you're 10% below or above the market, it'll change. Like, wow, my property's booking a lot. It's undervalued. That's why it's booking too much, right? And then you hit that sweet spot and it all of a sudden balances out to what the normal occupancy rate is and ADR for the region. So you want to be as right on the money as you possibly can with that. So having a solid revenue management is key. The second thing is these properties are all starting to look the same. They have to have standout amenities, right? You can't just buy a box in the jungle that has no features and expect to make a lot of money. You have to be creative. You're in an ocean of like properties all over Tulum. When something jumps out and you have a 3D image coming off of a wall, or you have an amazing water feature, something that just jumps off the page at you to grab you and have your attention. It's a marketing tool.
Yeah.
So if you're not very marketable, then it's not going to be very good. After they see the picture, then what are you offering in this jungle stay? What we're trying to offer people that set them apart when we manage their property for them is an entire experience. So we've partnered up and we have our own concierge internal business. So you can go on to our Local Bird site, which is a tech company that has provided access to all these different providers if you're a self-serve type, or you have a direct phone number to reach out to a concierge that's going to tailor your vacation to your needs, right? So it's not just keys for beds anymore. It's what can I do to giving you a full experience. You don't know what to do here? Let me show you a menu of things you're going to just love. What's your budget? What do you want to do? And we try to get that itinerary baked in, get them transport to and from. And then project like Amari, you have some really cool features built in. We have a cafe on site. You have different things that many don't have. To have a private chef, you already have a cafe right here. It's almost built in. Transportation, so it's complimentary.
And it needs to be simplified. People don't want to spend time wasting time thinking about where do I get my coffee in the morning? Where should I go for dinner?
Yes. We try to take that brain work out of it, give them an amazing experience. They come here, they want to have an experience. We want to give that to them instead of just, here's some keys.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. Good luck. Roads are bumpy, kind of rain sometimes, and there's bugs.
So I'm sure you've had experiences with homes that were with a previous management company and they were low performing, and then they come to you. What did you do to improve their income and ROI?
I would say the majority of our people come to us in that way. They come to us because they've had a company before. They're not performing very well or non-performing at all. One at Chalet, one corner unit, it would be the equivalent of Main and Main, overlooking a cenote. Absolutely gorgeous property, fully designed by a famous designer. You would expect this thing to perform outstanding. We took that project over. That one came from Bongo Stays. And this again was another Bongo Stays. And they're a company out of the US that thinks they can manage remotely and didn't realize that that's very hard to do. Big company, and they barely got any traction. We took it over and we immediately deployed it out to all of our marketing channels. We put out marketing videos in our social media channels. We immediately turned that around by using some early on strategies to get bookings kind of moving along, friends and families, to get some ratings going, and just seeding those 5-star reviews. Within 30 days, we had it at a guest favorite, which puts you above the fold for everything that is going on. Immediately just deployed it out to all of our marketing channels, which made it a huge hit. And then from there, just knowing what the prices should be. If you're off, you probably could sit a whole year and it will never rent, because if you don't know what the market is, you're never going to rent, right? So if it's 25% above the market, it'll sit, right? If you can just adjust that down, you're good. So a lot of things that we're doing is we're reorganizing the pictures in the beginning to jump out at you. We do a lot of listing optimization. Then we obviously tailor the pricing to what reality is in the market. And we can immediately take over a project and turn it around. Some other things we have to do a lot of times is just give it a facelift. Some properties lack character. They don't have a soul. And you've got to breathe life into these properties because they're just square boxes. And there's so many square boxes to choose from. So what makes yours different? We have to be able to turn this into an asset that's worthwhile. We have to use photography, copy, and marketing techniques to get that thing to be revitalized and to bring it back into a profitable stance.
Absolutely. So how are you guys maintaining the property, the appeal of it, and also the maintenance? And how does that affect the ROI?
Property maintenance is critical in this region because you have so many factors playing against it. You have the salt from the ocean. You've got a lot of moisture. You've got a lot of humidity, and these things destroy everything in this region. So not having a professional on site to understand what that breakdown looks like, whether it's electronics or just the walls, the sofa, everything. So having them cleaned every 30 days, hot water heaters, big deal here. People don't realize it, but there's so much calcium in the water that water filtration systems water softeners, everything gets clogged up here.
It's true.
Even the actual taps, they're like, why does the water not work? And there's literally so much sediment and calcium inside. You have to take the heads off, wash them out, turn them back on. Vinegar, you got to use vinegar a lot here. So just having the understanding of how to maintain an asset here is critical. Otherwise, these things cost money to replace and repair over time if you don't just keep up with them and do the preventative maintenance. So owners have to be aware of this and understand that it takes money to continually invest in your project. You can't just I paid cash for a property in Tulum and it's hands off, somebody manages it, I don't have to pay for anything anymore. No.
So have you noticed any trends in the market?
Yeah, there's definitely a shifting trend away from the norm. There's been a lot of development in the condo area, right? But there's not a ton of larger properties, like bigger homes and villas. And there's a bit of a shift going in that direction because there are some very large estates here that do very well in the market. We just ran an analysis on 5-bedroom homes, and 1 in 5-bedroom home made over $500,000 this year. So the trend is going towards larger villas that are more designed for big events and retreats, things like this. And then when the Zamna and all the festivals come for the music, then those become DJ hubs and big after parties, and they pay a lot of money to rent these homes. So having more like villas is going to be the big push in the near future because to be honest, it's very saturated with the condo developments. There's just so many projects, and there are too many of them that look so similar to one another.
Do you think for long-term rental, people are coming here, families are coming to live, and it's not just Airbnb, like people actually want to come to Tulum and live with their families long-term?
Yeah, there's been a huge expat community that just continually comes and comes and comes. Families, digital nomads, these types that have plenty of money. They just want to go and work somewhere that's comfortable and remote, and they'll take over some of the properties we have and they make them home. So yeah, there's a big influx of expats coming from all over the world.
Interesting. And tell me a little bit about what have you noticed about luxury properties? How are they performing from average properties?
There's really 2 categories. You have your call it serviced homes, and then you have regular Airbnbs. And then there's this middle ground where we're trying to kind of bridge the gap, and we're offering very high-end concierge services that come with a condo. So you would get that same feeling, but it's per stay. Many of the larger villas that we do on vacation rentals, they come with a staff, and that's baked into the price. So it's not something you can, I don't want that, we'll cook for ourselves. Like, it comes with a cook, a cleaner, handy person. So it's all set up that way. That is the bigger move, and where the trend is heading is towards that. More people need that experience rather than having so many condos, right? And that market's getting a bit saturated in a sense. So having bigger villas and more luxury properties, the market is more aware of this and wants it.
So the audience is most likely investors. What is your number one tip that you could give them for investing in Tulum?
Principles of buying real estate still apply here in anywhere in the world. Location is a must, right? And on top of location, you need to have something that's unique, right? There's so many boxes in the jungle that you can buy for a decent price and make a return. But if you buy something now, the idea is that you're buying it for a long-term investment, and you want to pick something that's amazing. There is a lot of developers that are coming to the region that are phenomenal. There are a lot of them here that are already here and are phenomenal. So you've got to have a really good developer who's got your back and is not just here to turn and burn and move on to the next project. They're here to make a name. They're here because they want to build something beautiful and nice and give that to you as a gift. If you pick a great developer, that's the first half, right? Location, find a great developer who built in a good spot, who has a vision that's really clear cut in the beginning and sees to it that that vision is manifested into reality. A lot of people have great designs and then they have very basic stuff that actually comes out the other side. So having a great, honest developer, and then when it's handed over to a management company, you've got to have great management in order to make the best return on your investment. That's a big, huge miss that a lot of people, they think just a beautiful asset's going to perform well with anybody managing, and it's not the case. You have to have those two strongholds. Those are your feet here. Great development, great management. People may not do this often, but I'm going to ahead and give my phone number out right here. It's going to be in the screen below. I'm also going to share with you my social media. So you can find us online. We have a website. We have all of our social media assets, but I'm also going to put my direct phone number. I'm the head of the Cole company. So if you want to reach out to me, you want to know anything, you have some questions, you're nervous about getting into the market, or you want to know a little bit more about the numbers and do a good due diligence, I'm happy to be a partner with you through that journey.
Perfect. Jamie, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
See you in the next episode.